a heartbeat, Victor forgot how to breathe. The serpent's golden eyes flickered, and beneath that alien sheen, he saw something achingly familiar. The same mischievous spark that once danced across Zara's face whenever she solved an impossible equation or teased him for overpacking sunscreen. "Sakara," he whispered, voice cracking. "No, Zara." Her pupils narrowed, shifting from vertical to human. "It's me," she said softly. "The transformation began the night I touched the temple seal beneath our camp. I thought I could control it. I was wrong." Victor stood frozen, caught between wonder and horror. Her skin shimmered, part scales, part flesh, a living map of the boundary between human and myth. "If this is you," he said, "then help me fix it. There must be a way." "There is," she answered, "but it requires a price that only true love can pay." A low rumble vibrated through the cavern. Dust fell from the ceiling. Something was coming. "The Guardians," Zara warned. "They protect the curse. If they reach us before the eclipse ends, we'll both be lost." She pulled him through a narrow tunnel that led to a buried pyramid, its walls made of black adobe that drank light instead of reflecting it. The structure was alive with movement, serpentine shafts slithering just beneath its surface like trapped shadows. "Zara, wait, this place—" "No time," she snapped. "The ritual chamber's ahead." They burst into a vast octagonal room glowing green from torches that burned without flame. At its center stood a pedestal, holding a single red gem pulsing like a living heart. The air smelled of rain and venom. Zara, or Sakara, staggered. Blood, shimmering faintly green, leaked from her side where scales had split. Behind them echoed a chorus of hissing voices, thousands strong. "Your blood on the stone," she gasped, "freely given. Only that can undo what the queens began." Victor stared at the gem. It throbbed faster, sensing him. "You're asking me to trust love more than fear," she said, trembling. "Do you still believe we're stronger than legends?" He didn't hesitate. The knife flashed once. Hot blood ran down his palm, splattering across the gem. The red glow surged, then flared into pure white. A scream tore through the chamber, not pain, not rage, but something vast and ancient being unbound. The Guardians burst in, towering forms of obsidian and bone, eyes burning crimson. Zara moved faster than thought, her serpentine tail coiling, striking, protecting him. For every Guardian that fell, 2 more slithered from the shadows. "Victor!" she shouted, voice echoing in 2 tones. One human, one divine. "Call my name." "Zara!" he roared, stepping forward, ignoring the searing heat from the gem. "Come back to me." The light exploded. When sight returned, the Guardians stood motionless, their crimson eyes fading to emerald. One by one they collapsed, dissolving into dust that sparkled like crushed jewels. And where Sakara had been, Zara lay human once more. Her black hair spread across the floor, her chest rising with shallow breaths. Victor fell to his knees, pulling her close. Her skin was warm. Her pulse, steady. For the first time in days, he let himself believe. He carried her out of the collapsing pyramid, through tunnels that glowed with fading magic, emerging beneath a sky painted crimson by dawn. Before them stretched a valley no satellite had ever captured. Lush, green, impossible. The curse that had sterilized the desert was gone. When Zara opened her eyes, the first thing she did was smile. "You broke it," she whispered. "You freed them." "Freed who?" "The queens," she said. "The Guardians. All those trapped between forms. You ended the cycle." Months passed. The world thought they'd discovered a lost ecosystem under Atakama's crust. Governments sent scientists. Corporations sent money. Victor and Zara led a new foundation that turned deserts into sustainable oases, using what they called ancient terraforming knowledge. Only the 2 of them knew the truth. That part of that knowledge came from Zara herself, from what she'd become. Sometimes, when moonlight touched her skin, a single emerald scale shimmered above her ankle. a secret she wore with pride. One night, on the terrace of their Santiago apartment, she watched the stars and said, "There are other temples still buried, other guardians waiting to be freed." Victor smiled, slipping an arm around her shoulders. "Then we'll keep going. Together." She leaned her head against his chest. "Aren't you afraid of what I might still be?" He chuckled softly. "Afraid? Zara, I've faced a queen who offered me an empire if I survived her kiss, and I did. Nothing else scares me anymore." She tilted her face up, eyes glowing faintly green. "Then maybe the empire's already yours." He kissed her. It wasn't venom. It was life. And as the desert wind howled through the open window, carrying with it the whisper of ancient queens finally free, the stars above Atakama shimmered a little brighter, as if bowing to the stubbornness of the human heart. Because in the end, humanity's greatest weapon has never been power. It's love, irrational, defiant, unbreakable. I woke up choking on silence. The desert that had always whispered was now holding its breath, as if even the wind feared what moved beneath the sand. My partner, Zara, was gone. Her sleeping bag, cold, her footprints, gone, replaced by a single massive trail slithering deep into the night, and just before the horizon swallowed it, I saw something shimmer, emerald scales glinting under moonlight. That was the moment I realized the legends weren't myths. The Serpent Queens were real, and they had taken her. If this story already has your pulse racing, hit that like button. It helps more people discover these wild HFY tales. And hey, subscribe for more stories where humanity faces the impossible and bites back. Share this one with a friend who loves ancient mysteries and alien worlds. All right, let's dive straight into the venomous heart of this story. The desert has a way of testing how much silence a human soul can handle before it starts to crack. When Victor Reeves opened his eyes that morning, silence wasn't peaceful. It was wrong. Something in it pressed against his ribs like invisible claws. The Atakama wind, normally howling through the canyons, had gone still. Even the sand seemed to be holding its breath. Zara's sleeping bag was empty. He called her name, first softly, then louder. But the desert doesn't echo when it doesn't want to. Her voice never came back to him, only the dry rasp of shifting grains. Her flashlight still lay beside the cold campfire, beam dead, battery full. Zara's notebook sat open beside it, page after page of hand-drawn scales, each one shaded meticulously, each one identical. Green, iridescent, almost alive on paper. Victor's throat tightened. He found her red scarf half buried 20 meters from the tent, and beside it, a mark in the sand that froze his blood. A furrow, thick, undulating, as if something heavy and alive had dragged itself across the dunes. Her footprints ended there, cut off clean, mid-stride. No struggle, no blood, just absence. He whispered, "Zara." But it sounded too small for a desert this vast. Victor Reeves was no stranger to harsh places. Once a geologist chasing tectonic anomalies, now a guide for scientific expeditions in South America's dead heart. He had slept beside volcanoes, beneath meteor showers, even amid sandstorms that stripped skin from bone. But never had the Atakama felt so alien. And yet, this was where Zara had insisted they come. A lost pre-Columbian pyramid, rumored to predate known civilizations, haunted her research notes. She'd called it the Temple of the Serpent Queens. She said the indigenous legend spoke of women who guarded the Krakow green blood of the earth, and the curse that turned them immortal. Victor had laughed at first. Snake goddesses? Come on, Zara. You're the scientist here. She had only smiled, eyes gleaming emerald in the lamplight. Then you'll appreciate proving me wrong. Now she was gone. He followed the furrow through the dunes, the sun burning him from above while his canteen emptied grain by grain. Hours passed. He could have turned back, but where would he go? Every step forward was a choice between reason and obsession. He chose obsession because love is never reasonable. At last, as the horizon shimmered and blurred, he saw it, an oasis where no map marked water. Palm trees bent over a mirror-smooth pond glowing faintly green. He thought it was a mirage, until ripples disturbed the surface. Something was moving beneath. Then she rose, a figure breaking through the water, fluid and terrible, a head crowned with jeweled scales, eyes molten gold with vertical pupils, a body that began human and ended in a serpentine tail as long as a truck. Emerald light traced the curve of her neck and shoulders like living jewels. "You've taken your time, Victor," she said. Her voice wasn't spoken. It vibrated directly in his mind, melodic, ancient, commanding. His fingers brushed the knife at his belt. "What are you? Where's my wife?" "Zara Lynn, archaeologist, black hair. Have you seen her?" The creature tilted her head. "They call me Sakara." Her smile revealed perfect ivory fangs. "The woman you seek has stepped onto the path of scales. I can take you to her, if you dare follow me beyond the map." A dozen questions collided in his mind. None survived long enough to escape his mouth. When fear is absolute, logic dies first. Sakara turned, sliding across the sand with liquid grace, her tail carving twin rivers behind her. The sound it made wasn't slithering. It was more like the deep hum of something sacred moving through the earth. Victor followed. For 3 nights they traveled under the moon when the desert's heat relented. Sakara glided silently, sometimes glancing back to ensure he was still there. She never seemed to tire. She never seemed to breathe. When they rested, she spoke of things that made his rational brain ache. "The pyramid was buried by those who feared what they couldn't control," she told him, eyes reflecting starlight. "Transformation is not death, it is continuation. The conquistadors thought they destroyed us. They merely sealed what they didn't understand." "What does that have to do with Zara?" he demanded. Sakara's expression softened. "Everything. The change began in her long before you arrived." Victor stared into the flames of their tiny campfire. The idea was absurd. Zara, turning into this? And yet, her sketches, her obsession with scales, her recent fevers, her refusal to sleep, none of it seemed random anymore. On the 3rd morning, Sakara led him into a ravine that split the desert like an open wound. There, hidden in shadow, gaped a cavern lit by an unnatural green glow. Inside, the walls pulsed with carvings, women half human, half serpent, submerged in pools, emerging anew. Each engraving shimmered faintly as if alive. Victor's hand brushed one. The stone felt warm, and then he saw it. Zara's torn vest, her camera, a lock of her hair tied with the same red ribbon he'd given her in Peru. His pulse spiked. "What did you do to her?" Sakara's tail snapped around him, pinning him to the wall, not crushing, but holding with absolute strength. "I'm trying to save you, idiot," she hissed. That voice, that exact tone. Zara's voice when she scolded him for reckless climbing, for chasing storms. His knife clattered to the floor. His mind screamed denial, but his heart already knew.